Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled "The Real Moon is Not in the Earth's Atmosphere." Now there is plenty of evidence that the moon we are observing in the sky is a holographic projection. And you may look at article 329 entitled "The Moon Hologram, Where is the Real Moon?" There may also be actual devices which simulate the moon, which appear to be much smaller than the real moon, and which also appear to be much closer than the real moon. These moon simulators may at first seem to be real, and their existence may lead people to question if the moon was ever as far as it was thought. In other words, people may start thinking that these devices are in fact the real moon, and that we may have been fooled about where the moon was in the last few thousand years. However, this is simply not possible. The real moon's distance from Earth was first determined by the Greek astronomer Aristarchus in 270 BC. In addition, the moon's distance to Earth was first measured using radar in 1957. The measurements were repeated in 1959 to 1960, and an even more accurate measurement was obtained for the moon's average distance to the Earth. The result was 384,400.2 plus or minus 1 kilometer. And that was using a lunar radius of 1,738 plus or minus 1 kilometer. Now here's a photograph from August 30th, 2018, which was taken by Scott Sion, and several things about it show us that this is not the real moon. This has to be a hologram. It has a blue edge. Part of its edge here is much more in focus than the rest of the moon, and the moon craters are much too large. In fact, I estimated these craters on this moon to be about 80 miles in diameter, which would make them much larger than the largest moon crater, which is Tycho. And Tycho is 53 miles long and 58 miles wide. So all these craters would be much larger than Tycho, this Tycho. And for more details, you may look at article 329. The moon hologram, where is the real moon? Now the moon's distance from Earth can be estimated from the length of time of a lunar eclipse, which takes about 3 hours from the time that about half of the moon is in the shadow of the Earth, so as illustrated here, to the time that half of the moon is out of the shadow of the Earth, as shown here. This is the time and lunar eclipse time definition used by Aristarchus. Now, we need to calculate the distance between the center of the Earth and the moon. So that's the moon's orbital radius. And here is represented by the capital R, whilst the Earth's radius is represented by the little r. We then use the fact that the moon completes one orbit in 27 days. In other words, it moves through the circumference of the circle, which defines its orbit, or distance of 2 pi r in 27 days. Thus, the moon's speed would be given by 2 pi r over 27 days. Next, assuming that the shadow of the Earth is the same as the Earth's diameter, we would obtain the moon's speed as it moves through the Earth's shadow as 2r, the Earth's diameter, divided by 3 hours. We then equate these two equations because they both hold the speed at which the moon moves in its orbit. And so we have 2 pi over 27 days, but that's converted to hours. And that's equal to 2r over 3 hours. We then solve for the capital R. We cancel the 2, the 27 and the 24 go up there. The r is there, there's a 3, and then the pi comes down to there. So we have 27 times 24 divided by 3 pi, which is 69r. And then using the fact that we know the Earth's radius is 6,371 kilometers, then we can determine that that 69r gives 440,000 kilometers. Now this value is about 10% larger than the moon's actual distance to the Earth at apogee, and is thus not a bad first approximation. Now the reason why we obtained such a large value is because the moon is eclipsed by a shadow of the Earth, which is actually less than the diameter of the Earth, and that's because the size of the shadow decreases with distance from the Earth. And but it's still not a bad result. Aristarchus did not know the Earth's radius at the time, but he calculated that the moon was at a distance of 60 r, i.e. 60 times further than the Earth's radius, which, since we now know is 6,371 kilometers, translates into 382,000 kilometers. So a little less than the average value obtained via radar in 1957, and later the more accurate measurement obtained in 1960 to 1961, which was very close to that. And it's actually given by this here. So in conclusion, the moon cannot be in the Earth's atmosphere or even in Earth's near space. The moon's average distance to Earth is 60 times greater than the Earth's radius, and this was already known in 270 BC, or about 2,300 years ago. The moon's average distance to Earth has also been determined through radar measurements to be 384,400.2 plus or minus 1.1 kilometers in 1960. Those are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.